you what. We did a pod here last week, and no one pushed record.
Turn on the morning wood sign. That makes it real.
The batteries are dead.
The batteries are dead.
I wish we didn't have to tell people that. If you wouldn't have brought it up, they wouldn't have known.
Oh, cool studio you got here, dude.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming.
Hey, man. This is really nice.
Thanks for coming.
Wow.
You're usually back there behind
I've never seen
monitors.
it from this angle.
Yeah, and you never will again.
Hey.
You put this far in the back of your mind, and you don't bring it up ever again.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. No, thank you for coming.
Thanks, buddy. This is my actual first podcast that will ever be released that I've ever been on.
Is that so?
Yeah, because I've done another podcast, and it never came out.
Whose podcast did you do? Don't plug it. No, never mind. Wait.
Well, hey, but I can't.
All right.
Something Cold Duck podcast.
All right. I do like Will though, but
Will's great.
But we're not gonna sit here to my 75 viewers and give them.
We all know technical difficulties, okay? We all know.
Oh, should we tell them about what happened? Why wasn't there a podcast last week? And let me ask you this. Why did only 6 people watch the audio-only version of the podcast I did in Virginia? Can we get 7 people?
I mean, Johnny, we all know you're big time enough to have a camera. You know, but hey, we all have technical difficulties.
So that's 2 weeks in a row, technical difficulty. When I was in Virginia, and I didn't tell this story either. When I was in Virginia, I did a whole all I needed to bring was 2 mics on my recorder because I brought all my lights. I brought fucking... I brought the mics, I brought the switcher, I even brought that little TV for a monitor. I set up an entire podcast studio. My friend Sammy, shout out Sammy to Mimi. We set up a whole studio in his apartment. It took me an hour to get all this looking great. And then I record, and I forgot to take the information off the screen, so like all of the info was still on there. So
I probably would still put out the video for that pod, but you're such a great producer of podcasts.
There's no way you're going to put out a video where you have information on the screen. I did.
Did you crop it?
There was a time where I actually did, and I got one off. But Jake from Joke World, the guy who runs Joke World channel,
yeah,
he did my pod, and I had just got a new camera. I don't know if it was this one or my older one, but I didn't know how to do manual focus, and I was alone in the studio, and so we were doing a Zoom thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you go back and watch that, I don't know which episode, like 60 something, you go back and watch the episode I did with Joke World, there is every time the screen switches back to me, there is a box for focus around my face because I didn't manually focus it. So there's been times where I put out bad stuff, dude, and I used to use GoPros. When this started, it was a table like this in my living room, and it was just GoPros.
Wow.
And now we have...
Look where we're at now.
A very nice Canon sitting over there. It's a beautiful camera.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some technical upgrades here at Bricky soon.
Yeah.
So we're going to need to bring in the Johnny Woods expertise on that too.
Yes. We'll do that.
Yeah.
I can help you guys out with that. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
So that happened 2 weeks ago. Get a Zen in for the win. You know what I'm saying?
Let me do a quick, a little vapey.
Okay. So.
Good step off.
No, it's good for the atmosphere. It's cinematic. It's good for the. It's good
I know
for the
YouTube's
vibe.
weird about smoking vapes.
Maybe you shouldn't even say it.
I think it's weird about.
You already said it. I mean, and this is the thing. You're a big producer, but as far as your editing goes, it's just being here. That's it.
That's true.
It's just you being here. So it's like, I'm going to need you to start bleeping some stuff out, Pat.
Hey, I'll bleep some stuff.
I'm going to need you to start bleeping.
Okay, and last week, I even looked up stuff, but you guys will never know.
You'll never know, because this is the thing. Last week, we'll get to this. Last week, it was a bad week for comedy, all right? It was a poor showing on our behalf. This is the thing.
Comics as a whole.
Before we even did the pod.
Even people that weren't involved.
No, it wasn't before we did the pod. The night that we did the pod, my show got canceled. So we had to cancel the show. Sold 0 tickets. Thank you, guys. Sold 0 tickets to the show, which a lot of that has to do with the venue, the website that they're using, the lack of promotion on their end. So stuff like that factors in as well. But sold 0 tickets, had to cancel the show. So it was a bad showing. So my buddy Louis D. Michael, which is a friend of Sammy Talent.
Sammy T.
Met him through Sammy T in Detroit at the Independent. Great guy, very funny, just an overall good human being. We do a great pod, have so much fun. It was over an hour, like an hour 15. Am I right, Pat?
It was
You were here.
We were riffing.
You were here. There was a lot of riffs. It was very fun back and forth.
Too bad I was here.
Got to know him. The fact that Pat was here does hurt me, though. The fact that Pat was behind the screen that day and he switched the cameras beautifully. All right, he was there to look stuff up for us. He didn't hit the microphone button on the recorder though, so we don't have a pod. We don't have a pod. So the pod Monday.
Okay,
that was last week.
Updates on last week that you guys did miss. You guys are now called the Woodies.
The Woodies, we did. We got a name for the people.
You guys are the Woodies. So, as the Woodies, I want to ask you, direct to Cam, do you like silent films?
Yeah, we're gonna do Chinese overdubs of the podcast.
Are you a big fan of the original Godzilla films?
Yeah,
because we could do something similar with Louis D. If the Woodies request it. If you just say keep moving, keep doing big things, Pat, I will. And so will Johnny. You know?
Pat, you don't look like you're getting a lot of movement. Can I say that?
Hey.
I think this. I think you guys should comment below. No one comments on these. I think you guys should comment below.
Oh, they're going to.
Should we do a weight loss challenge? Pat and I, who can lose the most weight in 60 days?
I will beat you. I have lost 100 pounds multiple times in my life.
Yeah, that's just from taking wet clothes off, dummy.
Nah, dude. My clothes ain't that heavy, dude. That's real work. No. I will outwork. No. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe we should do it.
Anyway,
Woodies, let us know. Woodies.
Anyway, that is the... Yeah, so officially, the 72 people that watch the show... you guys are now called the Woodies. The Woodies. I think that's a cool name to give people who listen to this pod.
You know, comment if you want a better name. Okay.
No. You guys are the Woodies, dude. The Woodies. That's great. That's fun. This is a defining moment in your podcast listening era right now. You know, so eventually you guys will just be watching TikTok and you'll just stop, right? Like whenever the 15-second venom hits your veins, dude, it's hard to listen to like a long form thing anymore.
That's true. That's true.
It's hard to pay attention to stuff anymore. You watch TV, Pat?
Dude, the newest Black Mirror season. Have you Black Mirror guy?
Tell me this: are you getting through a whole episode without like getting on your phone, getting up, using the bathroom? Does it become tough?
No.
Doesn't. You watched it all the way through.
The second episode of the 7th season of Black Mirror, the newest one.
Pat, look at me. Don't look at them.
The newest one.
Okay.
Why can't I look at
Pat,
them?
don't look at them.
They're the ones watching. All right,
Pat, don't look at the Woodies. Look at me.
Okay. Second episode of the newest season it blew my mind to the point where I was like, okay. I was sitting there, I was watching with my lady, and I literally get up and say, what the fuck, and have to walk out of the room because it blew my mind so much. And I was just walking around my house like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's how fucking...
Did the neighbors call the cops like, is there a woman yelling over there?
No, they're used to hearing her scream, dude.
There's a woman yelling from that house.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying because I sound like a lady? Okay.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Hey,
I think you said that.
I did say that. Anyways, yeah. No, Black Mirror, very good. Another recent thing, it's not TV, but I've been watching the first Pirates of the Caribbean in 15-minute increments for this whole last week.
Okay.
That's how much time I have.
That's not one that I would pause and go back to. I'll be honest, that's like more of a background noise than you play all 4 movies.
Nope.
Wow.
No, I'm invested in Curse of the Black Pearl.
The storyline. He's like, it's not about the cannons and the big explosions and all the extras in the background. It's about the plot.
The guy with the one eye, his best friend. What are they doing? You know, I mean.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
That's
Pirates. Pirates is like a go-to if it's like if it's a chill weekend and you're like at the fam, you just throw Pirates on. Yeah, it's classic.
It's classic.
Love Johnny Depp when he's drunk on rum. I gotta be honest. Somebody who doesn't, Amber Heard. But there are a lot of us that enjoy him on Rum.
All right, the podcast's over. That's the best we're gonna get.
Oh yeah, that's it. There's the clip.
Thanks,
I don't know if that's even culturally relevant anymore. Let's talk about something that is. I've been watching a show too. It's called Severance on Apple TV.
I heard that is
Severance
good.
is killer, dude. But it's so funny because it's a show that's like, you know, I kind of been craving some more like mature content in my life, and it's like a smart, like it's there's a sex scene, but it's not overly done, like say Game of Thrones or something.
It's
not
realistic.
Not that I can't appreciate it, but it's just realistic. They still got their clothes on. They're like banging in the office. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they don't over characterize like the sexual nature. So it's like it doesn't lead your mind somewhere else. There's not like people getting cut in half. Which, like I said, I love Game of Thrones. That's the last thing that I finished before this. Which is why I'm using this reference. But
that makes sense. That's culturally relevant.
That definitely still is. Well, hey, you talked about. Oh, well, this was before we did the pod. We talked about Harry Potter, right?
Harry Potter.
That was in the test shot.
Yeah.
All right, we won't bring it up because I was gonna reference something that's culturally relevant.
Me as a podcaster,
bring it back
producer,
to what you said earlier.
I might splice my Harry Potter content into this.
Well, you can't do it because this mic wasn't working. So this is the only actual good
I'll
one.
just splice my part because my microphone was working beautifully. Thank you.
I wish you would splice your sandwiches in half and try to space them out throughout the day.
You know, Nikki T's got me on making sandwiches, and it's actually been helping me not overeat. So thanks, Nikki Taylor.
Good for you. Good for you. You want to
just
get a grilled cheese after this?
A nice little grilled cheese in the middle of the day. You don't have to splurge on some.
Hey, I want to come back to what I was saying, but real quick, because you're bringing this up. Dude, I've been making these grilled cheeses at home, and I've been doing Gruyere cheese and baby Swiss and Havarti, and then I put hot honey in between it on sourdough. Bro, and I just got these new stainless steel pans, so like all my cookware is like fabulous, like like restaurant style cookware.
Stainless steel pans are so hard to get the temperature right before it sticks. I know you gotta do the bead of water thing.
Just let it get hot. Just let it get hot. Throw some oil in there. Well, you'll see the oil smoking a little bit.
Yeah.
You're right. You get your fan on. You get your overhead fan on. You're gonna have when you're in a restaurant. There's a fucking exhaust.
Yeah, I know.
Right. It's like there's a lot of smoke coming off.
I know about cooking food.
People see smoke, they get scared. You want to let that oil smoke a little bit, and then you want to toast both sides of the sourdough. Right. So that way, when you flip
toast that shit on both sides.
When you flip it the first time, it helps melt the cheese on the inside. So then you don't have to over sear it. Right. While it's cooking. So it helps melt the cheese. A little hot honey. Been going crazy, but we were talking about the Severance show. I've been eating grilled cheese while I'm watching Severance, just to catch everyone up for the last 2 weeks. If we haven't been doing pods, it's because I've been eating fucking grilled cheese and binge watching Severance.
We might need to get back to grilled cheese because I have a breakthrough in the grilled cheese game too.
Okay, you tell me that, and then we'll talk about Severance another time, perhaps. Maybe in just a few minutes. This will circle back around. All right, go ahead.
So the Ninja. I think it's called a Ninja Foodie air fryer. I hate air fryers.
We're not going to promote this kind of business on the... No, go ahead.
I hate air fryers, like the ones with the basket. I hate those because they taste like an air fryer.
Well, they have Teflon inside of them, which is very bad for you.
Yeah, I hate those. They taste like an air fryer. Everything tastes
like plastic.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Right? But this air fryer, this Ninja Foodie air fryer...
Go on.
It's like a toaster oven.
Yeah.
Has
the doors.
It has just like it's like a toaster oven, commercial little toaster oven.
Yeah.
And it has a bunch of different settings. For one, it makes the best chicken breast you could possibly make. You just put a chicken breast, you put thermometer in, you push the chicken preset, put perfect chicken.
Does the thermometer come with the food? So it has like a smart thermometer?
XL, yeah. And
then
it shuts off when it's...
This feels like an infomercial for fucking air fryers
right
now. Anyway, you've been making some good chicken breasts.
But I've also found a breakthrough in the grilled cheese community, which is technically a toasted cheese.
You have to come through me if you want to get to the grilled cheese community.
I think I have to go through Shane Gillis as the final boss.
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong. I forgot all about it. He's making them at night. Yeah, I forgot about it.
Making them at night.
Hey, what's funny is, like, I'm so far removed from, like, fucking what's going on with Shane Gillis. I'm just like, no, dude, I'm the cheese czar. Everybody who loves cheese, they're just like, I'm in charge of cheese in this district. You don't bring up the Grand Wizard of Cheese.
Hey, he's the
Grand Wizard of Cheese.
Sure, I would call him the president, but that's okay. Yeah, okay.
Hey,
you got to make it a little weird, but
trust me. In the cheese community, that's how they talk.
And hierarchies, the first way hierarchies work in Johnny Wood's mind is the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, that's not. That's not exactly the reference that I was leaning toward, but you know.
All right.
Everybody loves a good white sheet on your bed.
Yeah. So, okay. Grilled cheese. First off, I'm a grilled cheese. I don't know what you would call it.
Take them off your bed, you start putting holes in them. That's where you have a problem. All right. Okay.
I think a grilled cheese. You're getting a little fancy with the grilled cheese. Okay?
Oh, I get silly.
I know you had a little grilled cheese thing going. Grilling them softly.
Hey, relax.
All right. Anyways.
Well, I don't want the name. It's
All right,
coming
sorry,
back.
Yeah,
it's coming back. It's
hey,
coming back.
It's coming back. I like the traditional, like white bread, American cheese, and I go mayo over butter on the.
I've been mayo.
Yeah, because
I was in a mayo phase.
It has oil in it. It gives it the right with the American cheese. It gives it a right fluidity and everything.
This is the problem when you mentioned this earlier, though, and I hate to interrupt, but you said you couldn't get your pan hot enough. I was having the same problem on my flat top, my gas flat top. It's like the mayo. It does burn. It does take longer to burn, right? Because it has oil over butter. Mm-hmm. So taking longer to burn is not necessarily good when you have hot mayonnaise. So it kind of like soaks up in the bread. Sure. If you can over lather it really easy, right? You just need a very thin layer. So I actually recently switched back to olive oil and butter. Okay. Which instead of doing straight butter, the butter gives it the brown, right? You get the butter hot, it gives it like a brown toasty color.
Yeah, you use
the olive oil first. Yeah, to give both sides.
I'm a big avocado oil guy.
I like avocado oil, but I'm more of like, I mean, dude, that shit's like $30 a fucking bottle.
Well, I feel like avocado oil's cheaper than olive oil.
Depending on where you shop. I like the extra virgin. I mess with the extra virgin. I don't like the, if you've already had sex as an olive, I don't want to drink your juice. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
I like
save that for martinis.
I like an innocent olive.
Save that for martinis.
I'll have an innocent olive oil, please. Extra innocent.
Extra innocent.
Yeah.
You sell Angel olive oil? Right.
Yeah. Do you guys have...
But let's get to the real breaking news. Okay, so Ninja Foodi air fryer.
Yeah, this is huge.
So you just turn it on the toast mode.
Are you telling me you're going to put a grilled cheese in the air fryer and it's the best thing you've ever had? I want you out of the studio right now.
It's 5 minutes and the perfect grilled cheese.
It's not perfect. It's the school grilled cheese.
It's
what they used to do back when we were in middle school. They throw them in the oven.
No. You do it for...
Honey, I have you. You're live on the pod. What do you got?
What's about grilled cheese?
What's going on? We're talking about grilled cheese. You got any tips?
They're delicious.
They are.
There's so much going on to do this. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Too much going on. Johnny Wood's got family stuff going on. That's okay. Anyways, you turn it on like 3 shade level toast. You do it until the last minute, and then you add an extra minute, and then you flip it and do the same thing, and it makes, I'm telling you, the perfect crunch consistency of cheese, grilled cheese.
This is a disaster. The way you're describing grilled cheese is an absolute mockery for cheese and bread. And I know you're the czar of bread. All right. I know you're the fucking. How do you say?
Why would you?
I know you're from the dojo. Mm-hmm. Right. That's what they call you, dojo. So you come in here with your white bread in your white belt. You probably got a white belt around your white bread, and that's how you untie it.
It's a brown belt.
All right.
You ever seen the crust? All right, come on.
All right. That is true. You're right. They do. The crust does have a brown belt around.
I'm a brown belt.
Very clever.
Right under a black belt.
Yeah,
that's just a pumpernickel.
Yeah, it's only brown because the sweat from under your stomach has stained the white belt.
That's disgusting. I'm not a big sweater. I know.
You have a big sweater on.
I've got a big sweater on. I need it.
I do too, though. Not gonna lie, I'm also a huge fan making fun of another.
You're literally probably 80 pounds more than me, which is crazy.
Guaranteed.
But you're like also 8 inches taller than me, I think, probably.
It means nothing.
How tall are you?
Like 6'4", 6'5".
Okay, yeah, so 8 inches was a little exaggeration, but we all know about that.
Hey. Everybody said 8 inches one time and didn't quite mean it, right? I can't quite promise or deliver on the number, the metric that I've given you. But I will say this, if I stick it in twice, you'll have what you need. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, that's too easy.
That was fun.
That was too easy.
What are we talking about this week, Johnny? Let's
talk about you, Patrick
right.
Callahan. Now that we've talked about grilled cheese and we've got people all hungry, someone probably paused this right and went and made a sandwich.
They went and bought a Ninja air fryer foodie.
I hope not. I hope they buy stainless steel pans. All right.
That's a better deal. I
don't like what you're saying about the Ninja Foodie and the. I think it's a great unit. I'll be honest. I got a Ninja blender. It's good.
Hey.
Good. It's good.
I'm gonna convert.
And you can do grilled cheese in it, right? I would rather put a grilled cheese in my Ninja blender though. That's what I'm telling you right now. I would rather put a fucking grilled cheese in my Ninja blender and then see how hot those blades
make it into a paste.
That's
and
right.
then pour it on his stainless steel grill or stainless steel pans.
And I use that as the bread for an actual grilled cheese.
It almost turns into like a pizza.
Have you seen videos like that? Where people take they take a food and they crush it up and cook it 9 times and then they eat it at the end. And I'm like, you're a piece of shit, man.
Yeah.
You don't put me through 2 minutes of this so that you can eat a nasty dish on a tortilla chip.
Yep.
Oh, you turned 7 tacos in a pizza into a dip. Like, you're a piece of shit.
That's true.
You should lose your life. That's what I tell those people. That's what I comment on I comment, you should not be alive. And then I go delete because I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. Yeah. But I say it and then I take it back.
The intention's there.
I do that sometimes to my girlfriend. I'll write a really mean text and then I'll be like, that felt good, and I'll delete it.
And then she says, love you, babe.
See you later. I don't know why I use a keyboard when I text my girlfriend, but I do.
Johnny Woods still has a BlackBerry.
A lot of background noise today.
All right, Johnny Woods, what are we talking about?
We're talking about you, Padgy. Patty the
pirate.
Hey, Pudgy the pirate. You said it, not me. No, that one was me. That one was good. Yeah, so we took a little trip last week, 2 weeks ago now, something like that.
All right.
It's been a few weeks. We went down to Nashville, Tennessee.
April 3rd and April 4th was a big day.
Okay. Sorry, I don't have the anniversary in my calendar. But we went down. Went down to Nashville, and so some really cool stuff happened for you, and all of our boys got all of our boys got to watch it. There was like 6 Dayton comics, a couple of open micers, a couple little more middle of the road guys, and we were all there to try to get on Kill Tony at the Bridgestone Arena in front of 20,000 people.
Yep.
Right, and the first night you get pulled out of the bucket. First person to get pulled out of the bucket. Which was very cool. You had a good set, and I think you had a good showing, and then all of us were super hyped for you. And it was a really cool night altogether.
Yeah.
But then the second night, you tried to sign up again, and you go into the fucking arena with me and all the homies. And
I'm just trying to kick it, man. Okay.
And then the producer
just trying to hang out.
The producer for Kill Tony. That's okay. I'm pretty sure it's still on.
Okay.
The producer for Kill Tony then comes out looking for people. What she says is, if there's any musicians, if you got a guitar, if you're a rapper, if you can do a skateboard
you're going to
trick,
tell a story,
get the fuck out of here right now. Yeah. Also, if you were on the show last night, get the fuck out of here right now. And then she came over to our group and she was like, I heard one of you were on the show last night. Who was it? And then I immediately ratted you out. I was like, it was him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Own people.
I ratted you out immediately, and I was like, you were turned around. And I don't have to tell you that I did this, but I pointed right to you, both hands, and I was like, it's definitely this guy right here. And then you got ejected from the arena. So you went from like the high of your life, like 20,000 people laughing at your stupid Brett joke, to you getting thrown out almost to the point. I feel like if you would have waited any longer, they would have thrown you on your head out front of
the. There's a lady security guard there, and she was like, "Honey, you're gonna have to leave." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't even want to.
She was nice about it.
She was nice about it. But the producer,
the person running the show, was not happy that you showed up.
But the thing is, I wasn't trying to sign up again. I was just kicking it with the boys. Well, I was literally just kicking it with the boys.
Well, you said this. You said that to her, and then you were like, can I buy a ticket? And then instead of answering you, she shouts to the other 300 people in the room, don't come in here if you want to buy a ticket. Nobody can buy a ticket in this line. Get the fuck out if you want to buy a ticket.
I mean,
and then
honestly,
she turned back to you. And then instead of just personally addressing you, she wanted to let everybody know that this is unacceptable behavior. It's very funny.
It was fun.
It was very funny to see you go from like the best feeling. You were glowing like you just had a fucking pregnancy test, positive pregnancy test.
It was pretty crazy.
And then you went right back, but it was fun because you still got in that night. Yeah, and you still got to watch the second show.
I still bought tickets from a scalper.
Tell us about that a little bit. What the fuck? I had to stay in line and sign up still. What happens to you after you get thrown out the second night?
So the nice security lady was like, honey, you're going to have to leave. I'm like, okay, I wasn't even trying to do anything. I was just hanging out. Anyways, I'm in Nashville with all the boys. I'm like, I'll ride the ride with you guys. I want you guys to get on. You know,
you're just hanging. You're just at the show.
I'm in Nashville. I only have 7 friends that are in Nashville with me, so I'm just hanging out. Anyways, I go into the. I leave, or I like talk to the people at there's a souvenir place. I talk to them, and then I go outside and I get interviewed by that lady that's on Kill Tony.
The older lady.
The January 6th lady.
Oh, yeah, she does the Joke World interview.
Yeah, she did a Joke World interview. I don't know if that's ever coming out, but I did an interview for that. And then by the time that was done, you guys were outside again. So it was like...
Oh, it was that quick.
It was that quick. But also, like, when they were kicking me out, people were like, hey, I got a ticket for you. So it was, like, not a big deal. Like, Tony B. Cruz was there. He had an extra ticket and that he wasn't going to use because he signed up. So, like, I was going to buy a ticket from him. That didn't end up happening because what happened to us, Johnny?
We all got separated, and there was a tornado.
There was a goddamn tornado.
So after this happens, I come out, I meet you. You're like, oh, I just did an interview with Joke World. That's really cool. You're like, people won't stop coming up and recognizing me, and I was like, stop telling me.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw it happen a dozen times.
Good for you, buddy.
I get it, Pat. All right, take it down. Get off your high horse and walk with us. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, what's up? I was like, do you want to walk over? Because I illegally parked, right? The second night, I stupidly brought my family to Nashville instead of just getting a hotel with the boys, which is fine. My kids had fun. It was cool getting them out for a couple days. But I had stuff to do with them during the day, and then we had to get down to the arena by 3 to sign up.
3 at the latest.
3 at the latest, just to get in line. And did I skip the line? Yeah. But it's cool because I had friends in line and I jumped in, but it was whatever. But I illegally parked.
You barely got in, too.
I illegally parked. I barely made it in that second night, which is so stupid, dude, because I didn't even... It sucks because I didn't get on, and I almost died from a tornado. I ran 4 blocks to get in line, sweating. I'm fucking losing my shit. But it was a sick show, bro.
It was crazy.
We got to see... who was on the second night? Matt Rife.
And Adam Ray,
Tony
Caruso.
Adam Ray and Matt Rife. And then, the first night when you were on, Mark Norman and Kid Rock.
Yeah.
It was sick, dude. It was like it was crazy seeing comedy at that level.
A cowboy, baby.
Isn't it crazy? But to you, whether you got on or not, that is very cool, and I would definitely want to highlight that. But, wasn't it weird as a comedian, as a person in the business, because we, the reality of comedy, 90% of the shows that we're doing is a bar show, or it's like a Funny Bone that's half filled. Right? That's our comedy shows, in the Midwest especially.
You've been to a Funny Bone? That's crazy. I haven't.
Give it time, dude.
I know.
You're good. Take your time.
I'm kidding.
Shout out to Funny Bone. Please bring me back. So it's that's the reality of comedy. So to see it wasn't quite sold out, but to see 18,000 people in an arena.
Yeah.
To watch a stand-up open mic.
I think it was sold out in the terms that
every ticket was gone.
Yeah, every ticket was gone, and they couldn't technically, with that kind of show, they can't fill up the arena because there's so many seats that if somebody bought a ticket for, they would get a terrible show. That's why they sat us where they sat us.
Sure.
Because you're behind the stage.
Right.
When it's a forward-facing comedy show, you can't sell the tickets behind the stage. So so it is sold out in that aspect.
And 18,000 people, though.
That's the point.
Which is absolutely insane to say that for a comedy show. So it was it just kind of I don't know, it was perplexing to think I get why the show is as big as it is. Is it a little exploitative in certain ways with certain people?
It's like a circus.
Of course it is. But it is a show, and it's very entertaining. So I see the appeal. But to see it in real life, I was blown away at the level of where comedy is, right?
Yeah, I mean it's the highest level.
You're selling out an arena.
Yeah, I mean the only comedy production I'd say is bigger is a fluffy Gabriel Iglesias where he's doing literally stadium.
Yeah.
Which
There's
is
a couple guys out
It's
there
like
doing
the
stadiums.
Super Bowl. You know, that's insane. You know,
Those are like the scar faces of the business. Most of us are selling dime bags of cocaine.
Yeah,
Right.
barely. And
Right.
like,
if you can get a front.
yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
Right. So it was that to me.
It's perplexing.
It was very interesting to see comedy at that level and to I just still can't really quite grasp it or understand like what's going on with this business. But it is cool. It is cool being a part of it. But it's like something like that is almost so big that I can't like see myself there. It's like that is so far from where I am or what I think my career is going to go that it's like it's weird for me now trying to find my space. Like I'm definitely not an arena. I don't think that I'm ever going to be at that level. I don't strive to be at that level, right? But like somewhere middle of the road where I'm like a working headliner and I'm like successful in this business, that would be that would be good for me.
I think most realistic, I mean, arenas aren't even like realistic and far. I think like if I had to guess, like you're striving to one day sell out theaters.
Sure. Theaters, Funny Bones.
Yeah.
Weekends
at the club. That's where I want to get.
That's
like,
working. That's working, and that's making a good living.
Yeah.
That's
weekends at a club.
That's like sending your kids to college money
great.
if you're selling out every weekend.
I mean, like, you know, and there you know, as you build, like you get to those bigger shows. Even like a theater is like you're doing real shit. You know, if you're selling out a theater, and so that's like I have, I want to sell out the Taft Theater one day.
That's cool. That's a cool
goal.
That's
a Cincinnati, like Shane Gillis plays there now. It's like that's like, but I'm not going. I want to sell out the Bridgestone Arena. Like so. Yeah,
It's like a weird thing to grasp your head around. And does Tony Hinchcliffe? I mean, I know it seems as the character that he plays from the outside looking in, it seems like he's like very cocky and he's kind of full of himself. But like, I wonder if him or definitely Red Band even ever thought that this was like a possibility. Or if this is something that's kind of just like falling onto them where they're like, oh, wow, we have like a huge responsibility now to kind of like make these really great shows versus I don't know. I don't think in my head, at least, I don't think that they probably ever thought they were going to be selling on Madison Square Garden or the Bridgestone Arena, right? It's like,
I don't think any to even do comedy is like actually insane.
Of course.
Like, to do comedy at all. And then with, like, Kill Tony, it's, like, a revolutionary show. Like, there's no way that you could be... I mean, you can do the vision board shit.
Sure.
You can say, I want to sell out the Taft Arena, you know? But there's... I mean, the evolution of the show. Like, I'm sure even, like... So those are a big spectacle, the arena shows. Like, that's probably not Tony's favorite way to do it. It's just like it makes sense to do it, and like let's do these big shows every 6 months or whatever, and that's cool. But he probably enjoys the comedy or the mothership shows.
Yeah, it's a lot more controlled and it's a lot more like realistic in terms of what comedy should look like.
Right, exactly.
200 to 300, 400 people tops. That's where the shows are sweet. Right. Like you start getting into these. And some of the bigger Funny Bones that I haven't even played that I've just heard about, or like the Stardome thing down in Louisiana. It's like a 400-seater. It's like a club, but it's like a small like arena. Yeah. So it's like
Red Rocks or
something like that. Well, that's like bigger. That's like 10,000.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, this is like half 1,000.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you good with numbers?
Yeah.
Right. You know how to turn that air fryer on. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, you know how you sure know how many minutes that grilled cheese needs on each side.
It's 3.
It's 3. It's the perfect one. Yeah, that's so. It's like I don't know where we're going with this. The grilled cheese got me off track.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a big. It's crazy to do arena shows.
Okay, it is crazy to do arena shows. So now take away 15 years of Tony and Red Band's experience in the business, and just take you, an open micer.
Yeah.
2 years in, you do a mic on Mondays. At a crappy East Side bar. It's like the reality of comedy is not what that happened that night, right? You have lived a completely different experience in comedy up until that moment where you get picked out of the bucket. What's going through your mind when you get picked out of the bucket?
Okay, I'm going to give a little backstory. So, week of the Kill Tony show, I do Carmichael's Pub, which is a our bar show in Dayton. It's like the one that's like
It's our cool Tuesday night show.
It's our cool Tuesday night show. There's 20 people there. Okay, I don't do anything Wednesday because I'm leaving Thursday. Okay, Wednesday night. Oh, this is also why I don't do it. Wednesday night at 2 a.m, I'm in a tornado shelter in Xenia, Ohio, because there's a tornado gonna hit my house. Okay, it doesn't end up touching down. We're fine. I leave Thursday. I drive into Nashville. 2 tornado sirens going off at the show, at the venue I'm at. I see the show. The next day, I wake up and stand in line for, 3 hours. And then I get pulled on Kill Tony, And the crazy thing is, everybody's expecting to go, but I was first. So, no one even knows. It changed. I know it changed, how you guys saw the show, felt afterwards, because it makes it real.
Yeah.
But honestly, what was going through my mind when I saw my name? Okay, so I see my name, I get dragged down. It's a huge production, so I'm trying to I get pulled down. I gotta step over all these wires. There's a guy bringing me back to make sure I don't fuck anything up. They cut off my wristband, and then I'm on stage in 30 seconds. So it's a minute before that's it. So I didn't have any time to think. The whole thing I was thinking as I got out my little note card, because I already had my jokes. I always write down my jokes on a note card. I knew I was doing these jokes. I'm only going to have time to do really 2 jokes, 3 max, And I was like, so I'm doing these jokes. I'm backstage, big production. And then I just go up there and do it. And the whole thing I was thinking when I was on stage is seem confident, look forward. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I knew with the jokes I was doing, those were the jokes that I knew I could not forget. I couldn't forget. They're too short. I've done them too many times. So I was just autopilot. If you watch the video, people said I was hoping it didn't come off this way, that I was nervous, because I wasn't nervous. It sounds crazy, but I wasn't nervous. I was shaking like a leaf because I had so much adrenaline.
Yeah.
And you can see some of my jokes, the way I'm saying it, my lips are quivering because I'm so it just happened so fast.
Watch it in 4K.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you guys saw it, so I didn't get to see it until when it just came out. So it was whew, but I was just trying to stay in the pocket, and the whole goal, as soon as you told me hey, let's go to Nashville, I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, just get out unscathed, because I knew it's not a comedy club. Comedy clubs, we've done enough of them. It's comfortable, if I was doing the Mothership, it would be a whole different thing. But I knew the arena shows are actual chaos. I've watched them,
Yeah, people get booed off stage.
People get booed off stage and all that.
It's nuts.
Jazz. And I was like, so if I just have a good set and a decent interview, and they roasted the shit out of me, but that's what you want. People are like, I don't like how they treated you. And it's that's literally the show.
It's literally a couple of the funniest people on the planet making fun of you, and that's what they do.
That's what they're supposed to do.
That's what they do.
If they didn't roast, it's better to be roasted and have some something interesting. And even I made I fucking whistled like an idiot.
That was a bad train impression, by the way.
That was very bad.
That was a bad train impression.
Okay.
For all the autistics out there, all the autistic Woodies, comment below, which I know they won't comment, but comment
Woodies
below.
Are commenting.
You guys should definitely comment. Comment below.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. We got to say that. My producer's been telling me to say that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Comment below. Was that a bad train impression that Pat gave on?
Okay. Here's the thing. I can do a better one.
Here.
I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not doing it.
Because we didn't ask for that.
Hold on.
I'll be honest.
Hold on.
Have you been practicing?
No. I've been practicing that since I was a little kid. The thing is, try to whistle on command.
I can't whistle.
Exactly.
Well, no, you didn't know that. Don't exactly.
No. No, but you can't whistle at all.
Hey,
try to whistle on command.
Hey, one time I had a friend, and he was like, I can't burp. Should I say who it is?
Yeah.
It's Nick Taylor.
What? He can't
Nick
burp?
Taylor can't burp. So we were on the road together, and we had ate a big meal, and he was like, hey, I think I'm going to have to go back to the room and use the bathroom. And I was like, just use the bathroom here where we are, because we're at a casino. So he was like, no, I'm going to go I think I'm going to go back. And I was like, dude, let's just, and I kind of held him up. And then he was like, I think I shit my pants. And I was like, what the fuck? So apparently anytime he has, and this is embarrassing, he probably doesn't want me talking about this, but he doesn't listen to this. So no way he's listening to this. But so he kind of like made like a shart in his pants, and we had to go all the way back to we had to take a shuttle back to the hotel and then go back. And so I felt bad because I was kind of being a dick. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try to share like something with Nick because he said he can't burp. So he has like this, he has like gurgles, but usually when he eats a meal or he can't have soda pop, or if he has like certain foods, he has to use the bathroom because he just doesn't have a burp reflex. And this is a real thing. You could look it up because I had to look it up. Right? I'm even asking the bus driver. I'm like, hey, you know my friend here can't burp? Like everybody, like we go in the hotel and I'm talking to the clerk and I'm like, yeah, we'll be right back. He can't burp. So, so I'm telling everyone he can't burp. But I tell him, I'm like, buddy, I was like, don't feel bad. I was like, because I can't whistle. And he was like, are you retarded? He was like, that's not even comparable. And I was like, what? I was like, I thought I had like a fucking lip deficiency my whole life. But it's just really,
Wow, you can't whistle. Okay. Well, it's really hard to whistle on command. And my mouth was really dry. And I was like on stage. And, you know, it was the whole thing.
Excuse after excuse.
No. Very dumb. I shouldn't have done that.
Do you have any special talents or gifts? Oh, I can whistle like a train.
Honestly, what would you have said? I'm just.
Oh, I would have been like, I make grilled cheese sandwiches. Literally, that was my whole interview was just gonna be
grilled cheese face. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a huge chubby guy. That would have been perfect conversation. Talking about different cheeses,
the cheddar
and breads,
chancellor.
talking about the difference between butter and mayo, and they would have ripped me on it, which would have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Mark Norman would have been like, he looks like salmonella.
Yep. So, yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then second night we sign up, I get yelled at. Second night we sign up. No, yeah.
What about...
So I get yelled at.
Let's round this up. Yeah. Are we going to the tornado story?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I want. Let me tell my perspective on this, actually. Because this was scary, and I lost you. I lost you in the mix, right?
He did lose.
So it was like, dude, it was like an apocalyptic movie. It was almost like the War of the Worlds, where Tom Cruise loses his son.
Yeah,
that's how I felt, right?
Yep.
So So you get thrown out. I sign up. We wait in line.
Yeah, we go get your car.
And then I was like, everybody was breaking off to go walk around town before we had to come back for a call time at the arena. And so we have like 2 hours to kill. And I was like, Pat, walk with me to my legally parked car so that I could park in a proper spot and get good park so I don't get towed. So we walk 4 blocks uphill, and you're like, you kept asking me, you're like, you sure you ran all the way? like the further we would get, you'd be like, I don't necessarily believe that you ran all the way here.
He was like, it was downhill though for me.
Yeah, it was. It was all downhill, which made it really
Which
easy.
for Johnny Woods is 6 steps.
People were looking at me like I was crazy too.
I bet.
I was just running, and I was like in jeans.
Yeah,
and
that's dedication.
Just running downhill, fucking almost 5 blocks. So we get up there, we get to the car.
Every time it gets like almost 7 blocks.
Yeah, it gets. Now I ran 12 blocks to get there.
I did a marathon to get on here.
Half marathon. We parked the car, and then we walked down to the Country Music Hall of Fame, which is like a block away from, maybe 2 blocks from where we're supposed to be. And then this guy tries to steal my phone.
He tries to scam him out of stealing his phone.
And I'm so nice. I was like, oh, sure, you can use my phone. He popped us as tourists immediately. We're smoking a joint out in front of this thing. And then this guy walks up like, hey, can I use your phone to call my mom? And I was like, this is the thing. Right away, I felt like there was a little something up, so I questioned him. So I
stood up.
Well, I looked him right in the eye, and I was like, you know your mom's number by heart? And he like got weird. He was like, I do actually. And I was like, all right, let's call mama.
And I stood up behind him just in case I had to like trip him.
Remember? And then once you stood up, I was like, oh, maybe something is going on here. I was like, Pat can kind of sense something that if I was alone, this guy might have just ran off with my iPhone that I unlocked for him. I just unlocked my iPhone for this fucking guy. Yep. And so I was like, okay. And then we kind of talked to him, and we walked around with him for a second while he was on the phone with his mom.
He was trying to scam him and be like, I can't find my phone. It's somewhere around here.
And then he has my phone, and then he runs off with it. basically.
I've seen that like common. That's like common scam.
And I didn't know.
I use your phone?
I didn't know this. We're in a big Nashville's a big city. There's a lot of people walking around. I have no idea. So, anyways, long story short, we kind of like surround this guy, and we're two big dudes, and he's much smaller. And he maybe could have ran, but God, I would have fucking fought the shit out of him.
Yeah, I just was like, I'm gonna stand behind him. I'm gonna trip him, and then Johnny's gonna kill him.
I'm gonna come straight boots down to the chin.
That was my point.
I'm boots down to the face, 100% until I get my phone back, or
mid scam,
or the cops come. Mid scam, tornado sirens.
Our phones are like,
our phones go off. This guy, I'm like, I need my phone back because this is you don't have your tornado siren.
Yeah.
Look, listen, wherever your phone is, it's getting a siren. That's my siren. I need to take my. So we get the phones, and then we're walking up the block,
and people are running away.
Bro,
the opposite direction
scary.
of us.
It was like This is when it was really like the War of the Worlds, where it was like the end of the world because we're in this big city. There's like hundreds of people running down the streets away from these tornado clouds that we're walking toward. Right, we're walking toward the siren and the fucking funnel cloud, and
Johnny kept on being like, "Pat, we gotta get inside."
I was like, "Dude, we have to run." Well, my idea, I was like, "Should we run back to the parking structure that we parked in?" But it was so far, and we're so fat.
Yeah,
and it was uphill, and I was like, "We're gonna die
4 blocks again, buddy."
They say people die from when they're young for being fat, but it's not. It's usually because of heart attack. This is because we couldn't run. We're so fat we couldn't run that far back. So it's like I was like, oh fuck! I was like, okay, let's try to get in the arena.
Yeah.
That was closed. They weren't letting us in the one area.
Yeah.
So that was closed. So I was like, okay, there's bars across the street.
We're right on Broadway.
So we're right on Broadway, and so we're watching these funnel clouds, bro.
Over the arena, there's funnel clouds over.
And we're watching people run away from this.
And they were screaming, and it was
it was so scary. No, it didn't start raining yet.
Oh yeah.
So this is still like there's wind whipping, and it's like it's completely black above these. Downtown, above these giant fucking skyscrapers.
And scary sirens. Sirens always make it worse.
So I'm like, okay, let's go in this bar. And so we dart in this bar, 2 big boys in this fucking bar, and there's another 100 people in there trying to take shelter. So I'm like kind of mingling around a little bit, trying to find a spot on the wall. And then next thing I know, you're like having a panic attack.
Okay, so I have Xenia trauma from tornadoes because everyone in Xenia is terrified of tornadoes. So because if you look up Xenia, anyways. So and then I was like, I don't want to die in this place with all these people. I want to see what's going on. So Johnny's in there. I instantly walk back out. I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. So you like break through the crowd of people, and then I can't even get out behind you because there's so many people in there.
Yeah.
And I watch you go out the door, and then as I it takes me a second to get to the door to go out behind you. And as I try to go out, it just starts raining cats and dogs.
Yeah.
And the sky is black, and I'm like, I think I lost Patrick. It's like I had weed in my pocket, and I also had my new iPhone, and I was like, if I go out, it's dumping so hard. If I go out, I'm going to be completely soaked. Yeah. And I think you had already got to the next door bar before it started really coming down.
So what really happened is I went. Oh, sorry.
No. I was just gonna say that it went from like, okay, me and my friend are taking shelter to now I'm in a bar with 100 strangers and there might be a tornado outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't chase after him because I didn't even know where you went.
Yeah.
I lost you in the crowd.
Yeah.
It was nuts. So what happened to you? Because you ran out of the bar.
So now I run out of the bar kind of stupidly. But what my whole thought was, there's too many people in this bar. I can't get cell service. So, and I need to call my lady because she has a better radar because there's so many people in a small area, nobody's phones were working. And the storms make the cell service even worse. So I was like, I got to get out of here and call Natalie. So I go out and it's pouring. It's fucking pouring rain. And she won't answer the phone, which women, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Am I right?
Anyways, and so I go around the corner from where Johnny is, and there's at least an overhang. And it wasn't crazy windy, but it was pouring, and people were running up the street screaming, it's Nashville, so there's a million people, and they're all like in like dressed like pretty dresses and shit. So they're like,
they're running in cowboy boots.
Exactly.
Day drunk.
Yeah, day drunk as fuck. Like, my life, And so this bar is actually 2 bars. So I walk in, and I get soaked in that one corner run. I get fucking soaked. So I walk into this bar that's actually like a restaurant, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go in here. What the fuck was that? Oh. Anyways, I'm just gonna
That
go
was
in
the
here.
sirens. That was the residual effects. It's still reverberating through your mind.
And then I get Natalie on the phone. But the funny part is I'm soaking wet. My hair is like dripping wet. And people are like, "Hey, dude, you were on Kill Tony."
You're like, "This is not the time to recognize me."
I was like dripping wet. I was freaking out trying to get a hold. I finally get a hold of Natalie, and she's like, "It's right over you." And she's like, "They're saying it's touching down in like the river." And I was like, "Oh, the river that's 1 block behind me." So me and Johnny watched this tornado form.
Yeah.
Because we're running up the street, funnel cloud over the arena, and then it lands a block away.
Yeah, we watch it go down in between 2 buildings. And then because that guy in the bar was telling us, he's like, "It just touched down by Hattie B's over on the river." And I was like, "What?
What the fuck?"
Yeah, dude. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
And
bro?
Johnny's freaking out because he has his whole family in a hotel.
And they're north of town where the tornado actually was. Yeah. So I'm like on the phone with my family who are hiding in a bathroom of a hotel.
Yeah.
And
like crying.
Everyone's crying. It's insanity, dude. My girl's sending me videos of what it looks like outside where they are, and like the fucking lawn chairs are flipping in the air.
Yeah.
Bro, it was crazy.
Insane, dude.
If we had our producer, I would say plug that in right now. Pull that video up.
Yeah.
You guys can just imagine it, though.
It was absolutely insane. And then, so during this is why I can't buy tickets from Tony Cruz. Because he is a tornado, so I couldn't buy tickets from him because
all the chaos going on. So everybody got separated and going.
So basically, I was like, okay, it's not rain. It stopped raining for a second, and so I ran across the street to the arena because they were starting to let people in. And what I did is I just stood outside the arena, and one of the guys that said, "Hey, you can have a ticket," when I was getting screamed at by that lady, I was like, "Just sell me your ticket." So I just bought a ticket just so I would have shelter and so I could see the show at least. Even if I couldn't sit with my buddies, I would have seats and I would be in the nosebleeds or whatever. I ended up not doing that.
You ended up sneaking down and hanging out in the
I didn't have to
section.
sneak down. I just had my ticket and I knew the comic section wasn't going to sell up, so I just sat there. I just sat behind you guys the whole time and just watched the show. And I was like kicked back because I was like, well, I was on Kill Tony. Feeling good still.
You got to enjoy the second show.
I didn't die.
Yeah.
I got to
crazy.
enjoy the second show.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna kick it. I bought a beer and I even like because I could enjoy the show. So I even walked around. I ended up walking up to where my seats were, like my nosebleed seats were. And it was like I could almost touch the ceiling.
Holy
That's how
shit.
high up it was. And it blew my mind because I was seeing where I was standing. I saw because the band was playing at that point, and they were this big.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was me yesterday.
Yeah. Well, they could see you on the Megatron.
Yeah.
That's what was cool. They have a 1,000-inch screen up.
Yeah.
4x4.
The Jumbotron.
It's mega.
It's mega when I'm on it, bro.
Trust me. Yeah. I was going to say, they added an X on the... They were like, it's usually an XL. This is now a 2XL Jumbotron.
So, yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. And for me, for both nights, it was cool being there and but all the hype around it and being in the bucket. And then every time they go for the bucket, you're like hoping that you get picked. That takes away from having fun, like an audience member.
Right.
Which you got to really you got to get the glory the first night, and then the second night, you low-key got to chill and watch a dope arena comedy show.
And the second show was actually a better show. Like, the audience was hype. And
they were into it.
The band played better. Like, Winona Judd did, better.
Wasn't that crazy? Oh, yeah, I completely forgot. We got to watch Winona Judd 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
And then Rob Snyder's daughter, Elle King.
Oh, she did the national anthem for the first night.
No, she didn't. That was someone else. This is the girl who came out and did the remix to the Kaya song. All my ladies pop yo, it's like this.
Oh yeah,
That's Rob Snyder's daughter.
Okay.
She's a beast, bro. I'd never seen her live. I never even heard her music.
Huh.
She rocked that stadium doing that remix.
That was great.
She just came out and did one song.
Yeah.
It was very cool just being, we weren't far from the stage, even though we were behind the stage.
But that was also
we had
cool.
the celebrity view, right? We were like a couple hundred feet from all these fucking crazy.
Yeah, you could see Ari Maddie chilling backstage, getting ready, and David Lucas about to go up.
Yeah, it was pretty
and,
wild.
All the guys getting ready and being pumped, and then let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk.
What do you want to talk about? Night 2?
Night 2.
What happened?
Our buddy.
You talking about Caleb?
Yeah.
With a P?
Our buddy gets pulled. And you guys, hopefully you guys see it Monday when I think this gets released. Hopefully. It might be next week. I don't know.
Kill Tony Arena Show 2 coming.
Night 2.
Night 2's got to be coming up.
Another dating boy gets pulled. And he has the exact opposite experience of me.
Yeah, he got booed. He got booed big time.
Bad. And it was bad. And he tried to promote Carmichael's. And me... maybe we'll bleep it out. Probably not.
No, we're not going to bleep it out. And there was nothing worse he could have done. He should have apologized and owned the bomb. But instead, he was like, I'm going to plug my Dayton, Ohio show for millions of people on this thing.
And when he did that...
And he got shut down.
Me and Jarrell were falling out of our seats laughing.
Of course, it's funny for us to watch your friend get
bad.
Yeah, it was insane.
It was very bad.
Babe, you're still on the pod. We're about to wrap it up. What's going on? Check in with the Woodies. Say hi, Woodies.
Hi, Woodies. Call me when you're done.
All right, I'm gonna get you coffee here soon. We literally started at like 1:20, 1:30. We should be wrapping it up soon. We're just talking about Kill Tony. It's just me and Pat today. We're just talking about Kill Tony and stuff, and just the Nashville trip in general. We were just talking about you and how you almost died in a hotel. How are you after that?
That was so much fun.
How?
I'm tired. But I've been through worse, so.
You've been through worse, much worse. Okay, I love you. I'll see you in like the next hour for sure.
Love you, bye.
Johnny
Bitches be tripping. No,
lovely
I'm
lady.
just kidding. She's great.
Lovely lady.
She's great. She's just checking up on me. She has my location. She knows that I'm here at the studio, but she needed a call.
Yeah. And she hears my voice and she's like, "Is that another lady?
Is there a lady there ordering pasta in the drive-thru?
Who the fuck orders pasta?
You order Fazoli's in the drive-thru all the time.
Oh,
Can I get an extra
I used to.
breadstick?
Yeah, I used to.
You ever dip their breadsticks in the white sauce?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the fattest thing I've ever asked you.
I'm always dipping my breadstick in some white sauce.
It's weird to end it like this.
Anyways,
let's wrap up this. Let's put a bow on this thing.
Yeah.
More like grilled Tony. You know what I'm saying? That's how this episode started.
So
circle back. That's what I'm saying.
Circling back.
That's what we're calling this episode. Grilled Tony.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Black Pearl.
Hey, which actually Brooke loves Pirates of the Caribbean. She's a big JD fan.
She's a big.
I got to be honest. I don't think she was happy about that whole Amber Heard thing. This was a little embarrassing. And speaking of Amber Heard and a woman being embarrassed, let's circle back around to the TV shows we were talking about. Severance. All right?
Black
Severance.
Mirror.
Black Mirror. You said that was good.
Season 7.
Let me tell you about
episode 2.
Severance. Okay, so I watched 16 hours of this show.
Oh, we're getting into it.
I watched 16 hours of the show just so that the 16th episode on the second season, the season finale, just so that my girlfriend can be fucking fake mad at me. All right? So this entire show, and I hate to, spoiler alert, I hate to blow it, but so this second personality of this guy, and this, so basically Severance is, if you guys don't know.
It's a mindfuck.
It's a mindfuck, but it's basically like you have a different consciousness when you're at work versus when you're at home. So it's basically they split your personality and you have two different people all the time. And so this guy falls in love with this woman that he works with inside of the facility while he's at work. But then this facility, spoiler alert, they kidnap his wife and they have her and they're like splitting her personality. So he basically is tasked to like save his wife. And at the end, he does save his wife and he like sets her free. But then he runs off with the girl that he met. And my lady was so upset. She was like, why did we even watch this shit? She was like, this show is stupid. Like, it went from like, we were both so into it, so invested, to where she was like, what kind of decisions is
What
this
are
guy
you trying to tell me?
And then also, it's like, oh, why do you relate to this show so much? It's like, what about this appeals to you, motherfucker? And I'm like, I think it was a stupid ending. I had to lie. I was like, it's a stupid, dumb
That's
ending.
so fucking dumb. He should have went off with the love of his life like I would do.
I audibly said while she was waiting, she's like waiting outside of a stairwell, but it's locked from the inside, and she's like screaming through the window for him to come out. And I audibly said, I was like, make sure she's looking. I was like, you better go out there with your wife, buddy. Look back,
right, babe?
Look back at Brooke like, oh, that's crazy, the kind of decisions these guys
No
make.
way she could replace the love of his life.
No way. And then and then he's running away in slow motion with this other lady, and she was like, this is bullshit. And I was like, I tried to defend it for a second, but I was like, I got to pull back. But I was like, I mean, it's a different person. I was like, he has another consciousness. She was like, it's the same old dick. He's got the same dick. I'll tell you that. And I was like, whoa, she's hilarious.
And it's not even that great.
Shout out to my lady.
I mean, it's like fine. Like, I'm sure she was getting good dick when she was in the facility.
Yeah, exactly.
She should go back to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like a whole spiral. It's really that show. If you want to ruin your relationship for 3 days, you should watch it with your loved ones. But yeah, dude, TV, grilled cheese, Kill Tony, Nashville. We did it. Pat, how was it being on this side of the camera? Because usually you are the little elf that keeps everything rolling in the background.
Sort of.
Yeah. Something like
Half
that.
the time.
You're like being in John Malkovich. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Like I said, first podcast, big star now, you know, big things coming. When's this out? What should I promote? You got shows to promote?
Oh no, but this is coming out the same night as your open mic. Why don't you?
Oh yeah, Shag's Tavern.
every
no, for
Monday.
real, come to Shag's Tavern if you're in
Free
the
show
Dayton area. I do have shows coming up though. I don't know if this
Plug
means
them,
anything.
Pat. Plug them. There's 62 people that watch this. Plug them, Pat.
I'm doing.
All 83 of you should come to his shows.
I am doing.
Realistically, 13 of you should come to his shows.
A show tonight, but that.
This won't be.
I'll be at Bricky's pretty much every Friday taking pictures or on the mic, so go to Bricky's Comedy Club.
Definitely go to Bricky's. Check
May
it out.
8th, I'm doing that Stockroom show with Lori Graves and Jeff Allen.
Jackson, Ohio.
Yeah.
I've been there many times.
I think that'll be pretty cool. I have it's at a theater, but it's like a charity show at the Mayflower in Troy, I think it is.
Okay.
June 13th. So
June
go to that.
13th.
I'll be hosting that.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool. That's a cool little theater show.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I've got some dates coming up too. I'm not going to plug them right now, but you guys should come to them when you see the flyers.
Where can they easily find those dates?
It's really hard, and I get people
Instagram?
all the time that ask me, they're like, where are your dates?
You have a link tree?
No, it's cool. I went to a Don't Tell the other night. I was not on the show, and then someone came up to me after, and they were like, oh, I've seen you a couple times. He was like, when's the next time you're performing? And I was like, let me look at my calendar and tell you right here in person, because I literally don't have anything with my dates on it, and I really should. I should get on that.
You should just get a link tree.
I have a website though, reallydumbmedia.com.
There you go.
You guys can find out a bunch of stuff about me if you don't already know, if you care to.
And
if
really,
you care to dig a little
if we're
deeper.
being honest, just follow us on Instagram. It's like the best way to, because we're going to post stories about it and stuff.
It really helps. Yeah, it really helps whenever people follow, like, subscribe, all that stuff.
The whole comedy game thing now is very followers based. So
I don't think it's ever been any different. I mean, it was at one point there were like a few people who ran the businesses of any businesses, whether it's music or comedy, and then they just platformed you and put you up. But now, it's just you need to come buy people's tickets to their shows. You need to follow them, like them. That's the only way to support and like keep the arts.
And I think I have
going.
some merch, a little bit of merch coming, some stickers or something. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a from Red Band to Bread Pan.
From Red Band to Bread Pan is very funny.
Yeah, people have been calling me Patrick Bread Pan Callahan. So
it's a big Kill Tony reference. If you guys didn't watch his episode, make sure you do that. We'll probably link that.
Yeah, Kid Rock
in this Kid Rock and Mark Norman
first night in the Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, night 1, I think it's
night 1. You guys check out Patrick's episode on Kill Tony. Thanks for watching this.
Thanks, Woodies.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good one, Woodies.
Love you.
Peace out. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right.